All right, guys, I'm so happy to announce to you the day three of the Get Serious Challenge. It's been very interesting and mind blowing since from day one till day two, and today being the day three. Today we're having a very interesting topic, which says how your mind has been programmed and how to reprogram it to change your life and achieve success in 2026. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I hope you're here with your writing material, your book, and your pen to write things down so that later on you can go and read them and ask questions when you come to life. If you've not joined the WhatsApp channel, you can click on subscribe and make sure you subscribe so that even after the training, when I drop new videos, you'll also be able to watch. You're welcome. Now, the human mind is just like a computer. Anything you garbage in is what you garbage out. Any program you install is what is going to run. Okay, so that's just how the human mind is. It's just like a program, just like a system, just like your phone. Anything you install on your phone is what is going to run. Any app you download on your phone is what is going to run in your phone. So that's how the human mind is. So every human being lives from the inside to the outside. Before there is action, there is a thought. Before behavior, there is belief. Before lifestyle, there is mindset. No one acts beyond how they think. You see, it is what runs on you inside of you. That's what it reflects outside. Even the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So everything going on in your life right now is all because something is running on your head. Now, if we change the program running on your head, you begin to see that your outer life will begin to change. Your present life is largely a reflection of the ideas, the beliefs, and the assumptions that were planted in your mind over many years. Everything you see in your present life is just a reflection of the things, the ideas, the beliefs, the thoughts that's been planted in your heart. You know, the human mind is just like it's like just like the soil. Whatever you sow in it, that is what you're going to grow in it, and that's what is going to germinate and bear fruit. So most people never consciously choose their mindset, they inherited it. Now, this is why I keep saying that if you want to change your life, you change your mindset. It's not the clothes you change, it's not the environment. You don't have to travel from Abuja to Lagos for your life to change. No, you don't have to. Even though I know environment influences outcome, but the main thing is in your mind. It's in the mind. So if you want to change your life, you change your mindset, and that's what we're here to do. So everything is dependent on what is going on inside. It is what goes on the inside. That's what reflects on the outside. Now, number one, write this down. The human mind is a programmed system. Write it down. For those of you writing, the human mind is a programmed system. Now I will explain. The human mind works like a system that records, stores, and runs information, just like a computer and a phone. Now, from childhood, the mind begins to absorb words, experiences, reactions, attitudes, examples, and many things. Now, these inputs become internal programs. Once installed, they operate automatically. That is why many people behave in a certain ways without knowing why. You see, some people begin to do things without even knowing when they learned how to do it. All these things began from childhood, from the information, from the people that were around you, from your childhood, your parents, your environment, everything that shaped you from inside. All those things we are like as programs. What happens is that your brain begin to automatically begin to grasp things. Have you noticed that children are so fast to learn that whatever thing they see you do, they want to do a replica of that? So that's how it is. That's why I call programming. Once installed, they operate automatically. That is why many people behave in a certain ways without knowing why. They are running mental programs. A person may fear success without understanding the source. Another may hate money unconsciously. Another may feel inferior without knowing the logical reason. These are results of programming. So whatever that began to shape you from childhood begins to shape your future. Now, this is why you should be very careful around kids. Be very careful around what you do around kids, because whatever thing they see you do, that's what they internalize. Whatever thing they see you do becomes a training, becomes a programming for them. Now, moving on to the second one, I want to talk about family programming. Write it down, family programming. I'm just trying to talk about everything about the mind and the programming. So number 2 is family programming. Now, the first programmers of the human mind are parents and guardians. Take note of that. Children observe more than they listen. You see what I was saying? Children observe more than they listen. Children are so keen. They are so intelligent. So they watch how parents handle money, how they respond to problems, how they talk about life, how they treat themselves. So as a parent, your children are watching you. A child who grows up hearing money is hard to get will believe that. He will believe that money is so hard to get. He will believe in scarcity and he will internalize scarcity. A child who grows up hearing money, okay, I've said that. A child who hears people like us don't succeed will internalize limitation. So you keep telling your children, people like us don't succeed, people like us, things are hard for us. Your children will begin to believe that. A child who sees fear daily learns fear. There are some things you'll be doing, you won't know that you are actually planting the seed of fear into your children's life. You are planting limitation into their life. So family environment shapes expectation. Family environment is very, very important. So many of us are victims of our family programming. Now, moving on, the third thing we have here to talk about is cultural and societal programming. Write it down. Cultural and societal background. I will explain. Now, society also programs the mind. Very, very. They program through the media, through education. Almost every person went to school, even if it's primary and secondary. So every person got some education from childhood. The third thing is religion. Why are people killing themselves? Why is it that is one of the major problems in Nigeria today? Is it not religion? So people kill themselves, kill one another, thinking that's the right thing to do. So you see, religion is one of the things that programs the human mind. Number 4 is social norms. What people accept, what people believe in, social norms. And number 5 is community beliefs. So many cultures normalize struggle. There are places you go to see that poverty is a norm there. People here, they have a kind of mind, they have a kind of limitation in mind that once they achieve a kind of a thing, they are okay. Once they can eat, people are just okay. So some communities, some cultures normalize struggle. They teach people to expect little. Most communities celebrate survival more than excellence. So if you can just keep yourself surviving, you are good to go. They criticize ambition. They mock discipline. They attack consistency. So over time, people adjust their dreams to their environment, to fit into their environment. This is what happens. They shrink themselves to avoid rejection. There are places that when you begin to do something that no other person is doing, they begin to see you as if you're trying to show, as if you came from somewhere. So they begin to kick against you. They begin to see you as someone who is opposing the norm. So these are the things that keep people down. The fourth thing I want to talk about is educational programming. Do you know that some of the things school taught us were wrong? Yes. School teaches information. It also teaches limitation. Many people learned obedience without creativity. We learned memorization without thinking. We learned how to pass exams without mastery. We learned to wait for instructions. We learn to seek approval. We learn to fear mistakes. When you make a mistake in school, they flog you as if it's wrong to make a mistake. They punish you for making a mistake. But that's not how it is. You see, so this produces adults who hesitate to innovate. So when you try something and you failed and your teacher flogged you, now what does it mean? You become afraid of trying something and making a mistake. So this happens now. Even when you come out of school, you're fearing your own innovation. You're fearing your own grit to go and do something, because you feel like, if I fail, I'm gonna be laughed at. I'm gonna be punished. I'm gonna be mocked. Some of those things they do in school. When you fail, they bring you out. They say shame. Wah. Ishi coconut. Hey, they shame you, and the school believes that when they shame you, you will do something that you don't feel like. But that's not true. Some people are still living under the that's shame. So it makes them, they don't want to try again. So educational programming, this is just one of the many things that school has taught us. School has made us. So educational programming is not really perfect. That's why I say go to school, but also teach yourself. Now the fifth thing I'll be talking about is programming through experience and trauma. Pain programs deeply. Failure, rejection, betrayal, poverty, loss, humiliation all leave mental marks. Yes, they really affect us. So when a person fails repeatedly, the mind may conclude, I'm not good enough. You see what I'm saying? When somebody makes a mistake over again, at that point they begin to think, I'm not good enough, let me just quit this thing. When someone is betrayed, the mind may conclude people cannot be trusted. There are people who are still dealing with trust issues because of up to today, because of an experience they had when they were little. When someone is betrayed, the mind may conclude people cannot be trusted. When someone grows up in lack, the mind may conclude I will always struggle. So there are some people struggling. Hardship is a norm for them. Yes, so anything becoming rich, anything finding life easy, they don't believe that. So this conclusion become beliefs. Beliefs shapes behavior. And again, I want to talk about trauma. Trauma is very, very bad. There are some people who are still dealing with trauma up to today. That a bad experience they had when they were small, maybe someone tried to abuse them, or somebody even abused it. Like they live in that fear, in that trauma up to today, and it's been affecting them. So programming through experience and trauma is one thing that affects us. And if you're here, it's time to break away from those things. The sixth thing I want to talk about is what I call language and self-talk programming. Now, words are powerful. They are powerful programmers. What you say repeatedly becomes belief. Write it down. What you say repeatedly becomes belief. What you say repeatedly becomes what? Belief. When you keep saying, I'm tired, I can't, I'm unlucky, I'm poor, I'm slow, I can't make it, others are better than me, all of these words create mental pathways. The mind begin to believe what it hears you consistently. Anything you keep saying to yourself, your mind begin to believe that. That is why I think the place of affirmation is very important. So whatever you say to yourself, you become. So the mind believes what it hears you say consistently. Many people sabotage themselves with their own mouths. Many people sabotage, like they draw themselves down with what they say with their own mouths, and that's very bad. That's very deadly. So you have to quit that kind of life. You need to start speaking positively to yourself. Start telling yourself, I believe in myself, I'm going to make it, I'm great, I'm coming out of poverty, I'm coming out of lack. Begin to say positive words to yourself, and you begin to see results in your life. Now the seventh thing I want to talk about here is what I call the media and digital programming, and that's the the era we are in now. Modern minds are constantly programmed through screens, social media, music, movies, news, and trends are currently shaping a lot of young people's values. So we normalize instant gratification. We begin to compare ourselves. You begin to see laziness in our daily lives. You begin to see fake success. People come online, they fake things, and we want to be like them. And you see materialism. So people begin to measure life by likes and views. Are you not seeing people who are going naked online just for views, just for money, just for monetization? So people, we are now losing our values. People now lose depth, they lose focus, and they lose patience, all because of this social media of a thing. So you should know that anything you watch, you become. Some people began to have attraction to the opposite sex because they kept watching same-sex movies. Whenever you keep watching all these sensual things, it begins to reprogram your mind. Whatever thing you feed yourself with grows your appetite in that thing. So you need to be very, very careful. This calls for a turnaround. After today, you should check the things you feed your mind with, the things you watch, the things you're listening to, the people you're following online, and come out. Have a change, because these things are programming you even without you knowing.